Hello and welcome to the video. So I've got a shocker to tell you about in this video, and I'll get to that in a moment. What we've got here is a Piko wagon to have a look at today. It's in their classic range. It's number 54586 and it's a curtain-sided wagon from CD Cargo. So that's the Czech Republic Railways. You don't see many Czech Republic Railway wagons or locomotives, especially here in the UK. And this one is quite a special one because I did actually buy it when I was on holiday in Prague. And you can see the details of the model shop right here. It's still on the packaging. So yes, you've guessed it. This is a brand new model. I did actually buy something brand new. It's amazing. It's the first video I've done of something which is new. Normally everything I do is secondhand, but this is an exception. And it makes a great holiday souvenir compared to the usual tat that you get. Anyway, let's open up this model and have a look. So first out the packaging is this leaflet here, which is all in German, so I don't know what it means. And looking in here, it's asking some questions of you that you can fill in and maybe to request a catalogue or something. We then have this little mini catalogue as well, which opens up and shows you some of the tempting things that you can get from Piko. All really nice stuff, and all stuff that will get you in trouble with whoever owns the purse strings. And it also has some details here about how you can have a digital control on some of these, and you can also introduce younger people to the hobby with some of these sets here from Piko. And finally you have these instructions here, and you can see it's called a sliding tarp car in English, which isn't quite right, but still anyway. And you can see how you can take this model apart, and inside you've got a list of spare parts for this wagon. So here we have the model out of the packaging along with its weight with a bit of tape on it, which you put inside. And this wagon definitely needs it because it's super light. So what you'll notice on the side of this wagon is that the tarp has been moulded very nicely. There's a lot of nice detail here. It really looks like it's made of fabric, even though it's made of plastic. And printed on the side at this end, there is this panel here with some technical details about this wagon. And at the other end, we have a warning panel and these little handles molded into this piece of plastic. So that's really nicely done. Those transfers are really great. They do have a bit of shine on them, which I don't think is really prototypical. So that could maybe benefit from a bit of matte varnish on it. Looking at the end of the wagon, you've got a couple of extra parts put on, including this part here with a little lever and this bar going across here. You've also got these little delicate handrails here. These look very fragile and could possibly break, all of these parts in fact. So you're going to have to be careful with this model. It's also got some warning graphics printed onto the end here as well. And we have these square buffers added in. They're just a push fit into the main piece of plastic. And then looking down the side, we've got this hook here picked out in yellow. And we have some more printing on the side here, along with these steps picked out in yellow as well, and a little bit of white here, and another little hook here as well. And you'll also see there's a little tiny step here, again, very easily broken off, so this is a model that you're going to have to be really careful with. Looking on the top of the wagon, there is a ridge running the whole length of this tarp, and again, the details of the tarp look really good up here as well. And finally, looking down here, these bogies are moulded very well. There's a lot of deep relief and the brake blocks are in line with the darkened wheels here as well. And you can see that the coupling here is in an M pocket and it's also got a good degree of articulation as well. And here in the middle, you can see the Piko logo there and this representation of brake gear. It does just stop in midair there, but it does look quite convincing and it's quite deep relief as well on those parts. So let's open this up and have a look inside the tarp. So that wasn't easy to do at all. You really needed quite good strong fingernails to be able to get that apart. It did make it quite difficult. Now that we've got it apart, you can see these additional parts that have been added in here, but there's no real detail here on the bulkhead at all. And you still get this ridge where the other piece of plastic fitted into it. So I'm not sure you'd really run this without the tarp on it. It doesn't look that great. And also it's so light that it will need this weight. Now it says just to drop this weight in the middle here and it fits not too bad in there, and I guess you just take off that double-sided and put it in there. So there's no provision here to put any other kind of load. You have to have this big weight here. So this tarp wagon from Piko has been quite an interesting thing to have a look at. It's got some things that I think are really great on it, but it also has a couple of limitations as well. So the obvious thing that's really good is the tarp. It is just such a great moulding and it has so much subtle detail in it and it really looks like it's made of fabric. I also like the additional parts that have been put onto this model, especially the handrails at the end, picked out in yellow, because it's really eye-catching and adds a lot of character to the model. And also the printing of the logos on the side, especially on the tarp and the chassis, have been done extremely well as well. There's only two things I think let this model down, and one is the weight. The fact that you've got to put a piece of metal inside this yourself instead of coming from the factory with a bit of weight in it already is a bit much in my mind. It is a classic model rather than a hobby model, so I think things like this should be improved a little bit. And the other thing is the colour of the wagon, and this is probably a symptom of the prototype as well, in that it's just pretty much all grey and therefore a bit dull as well. The reason I bought this wagon was it was a CD cargo wagon and I was in Prague at the time and I thought it was quite cool. But would I recommend this wagon to you? I'm not really sure. Possibly if you can get this wagon in different colours, or you have intentions to do something like weather this wagon or even add graffiti on the side, which would really brighten up this wagon, then I think there's probably better wagons that you could go for. It's a decent enough model, but it's nothing outstanding. I hope you liked this video and my analysis of this wagon. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. Please give this a thumbs up and you can subscribe for more videos like this. I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around, but in the meantime, that's it for today. See you next time.